The ongoing pandemic has helped deepen an ongoing problem in our country, supply chain holdups. And it's impacted everything from business owners to customers, sometimes both at the same time. Maybe you got your first taste of it over the holidays, a gift or two you ordered online, didn't get here in time, so maybe you went to an actual store instead thinking you could just skip the supply chain middleman. I mean, if they have it on the shelf, then there really is no supply chain problem right there, right? Well, maybe you spent a little more than you were expecting at that store. At least one viewer did when she shopped at Sherwin-Williams and then checked her receipt. Lauren Scott wrote us, I recently noticed a 4% supply chain charge, on my Sherwin-Williams receipt. I was wondering if there were a lot of other businesses doing this to essentially hide their increase in prices. Not really hidden, though, if it's right there in front of you on the receipt, but I get your point. I mean, we've heard of businesses passing the cost on to the customer, but to be so blatant about it and put it right there, I said on paperwork, right? Andrew Bartline joins us now. Andrew, you've been looking into this for today. These supply chain charges, they aren't new. I mean, Sherwin-Williams has been doing this since at least September. That's been documented. We've seen that. But are they popping up elsewhere around the Treasure Valley?
Well, Sherwin-Williams, of course, the first one you mentioned. We know they've been doing this for a while. We have a sister station in Tampa, Florida, who has been reporting on this and doing a pretty good job. They found out FedEx has a fuel surcharge. So hypothetically here in the Treasure Valley, if you want to ship something through FedEx, or I should say truck it, you're going to have a charge for that gas cost. Now, if you're a motorcycle guy, I don't know if you've checked out Harley-Davidson, but they've imposed a surcharge in the U.S. too, as they expect these supply chain problems to continue well into 2022. So looking specifically at the surcharge, we weren't really able to find local businesses right here in Idaho going that route today, where instead of putting it on the total cost of the item, there's that fee when you try to check out. 4% is what we saw with Sherwin-Williams. That supply chain problem for businesses and absorbing those losses isn't easy, so it does make sense to have those costs fall on the consumer, the customer. But Lauren's most upset with how the cost was pushed onto her. She did a little research because of it, and she feels that it's not very transparent.
The LA Times reporter, he was saying, some of the people that he talked to were saying it's their way of, basically hiding inflation, so to speak, to where, you're going to get to Sherwin-Williams, have your bucket of paint mixed up, be ready to check out, and then you're not going to turn around and leave when your bucket of paint's waiting there. So it's a lot harder to say no after the fact.
So Brian, here's the tough part where I kind of exposed myself. We had a difficult time finding local businesses in the Treasure Valley having maybe this surcharge. We know that prices have been increasing. That's been well documented. Yeah. The consumer price index certainly playing a role in that. So at this point, we're kind of asking the viewers if there's anything you guys have noticed to point us in the right direction, because this is something that's happening everywhere and it's not easy to spot exactly. We've looked around today, so kind of asking for that help.
And I may have been a little premature with Lauren. I understand, mixing paint is different. That surcharge, you don't know about it until you get the receipt. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying that part is hidden, but not given or made aware to you until you actually go to the register. Your paint is mixed. Yes, that's a certain situation that is kind of hard to avoid, and I get that. But yeah, if there are any other businesses that you have, if you have a receipt that shows there was a surcharge of some sort that was dedicated or at least caused by supply chain issues, we want to know about it. We want to hear what's going on out there to see if this is something that is spreading out across the Treasure Valley or even the rest of Idaho.
Yeah, maybe it's a generational thing, but I don't even really take my receipt, so I might have to change that.
There is a lot of that.
I always just tell them to throw it away.
That's true. That question you have on paper or plastic, that was my generation, your generation, our next generation. Would you like a receipt? No thanks. So yeah, make sure you double check that. Exactly. All right, thank you very much, Andrew.